especially the Super Tucanos and the new armored personnel carriers. And also, for the past 2 years, we're not able to exercise with our counterparts. And it's very important that we're always up to date, especially with new equipment, new techniques and procedures, and new enemy procedures that we have to exercise. And as you can see, there's always been a need for interoperability with our American counterparts. And with the live fire, you can really have an almost actual scenario, just minus the enemy firing back at you. But in general, it's the almost real-time fighting with actual bullets.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'll be the first one.
All right.
Sir, with the 2 years gap of
Felix, can you just state your
Sorry.
name and your
Sir,
affiliation?
Felix Barrios with CLTV 36, sir, regional channel. With the recent gap of not having a big footprint in Balikatan, we all know that in 2020 Balikatan was canceled. In 2021, we set a very minimum footprint of U.S. personnel down here, including AFP as well. I wanted to know how hard the planning was this time around, or if it presented any challenge or anything at all
Yeah.
for both of you gentlemen. Thank you.
I'll let you speak first, sir.
Okay. Yes. For the Philippines, as we all know, like I said, we have new equipment. We haven't had much exercise with them, and of course, with the interoperability, 2 year gap is really very big, especially so that we have new troops, we have new commanders, and it's very fortunate that we're able to conduct this again this year, which, as the colonel said, took a long time to prepare because, as we all know, Balikatan is prepared yearly. So as early as last year, we already start preparing. However, every day there's changes in troops that will be available, changes in equipment that will be used, and eventually it's good that we're able to conduct this today.
Yeah, it always changes. We always
Yes.
have a lot of good ideas when you get on the ground, you know. The tough part always with these exercises, people are always changing position in the military, in the Philippines military, in our military, in the AFP. So that part is a challenge. And so you had a lot of people rotate out who didn't have a lot of maybe, near-term memory of Balikatan. That said, we've had military to military close partnership for over 75 years. We've done Balikatan, this is the 37th iteration. So we have a lot of interoperability built over many, many decades. So while the immediate planning for this, there was some startup kind of friction because we hadn't done it several years. As you can see, we reached a really, really high level of readiness here together in a very short period of time. And that really speaks just to the enduring partnership that we've had.
I am Ron from Advanced Transfers. Maybe know what kind of situation, real life scenario, these kinds of exercises are useful to both countries, the United States and.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. Of course, for the Philippines, as you can see, it's tactical maneuvers wherein you have actual enemy on the ground. So with that, we're able to exercise what our troops, especially at the company level, are able to do, like support from artillery, from close air support from the air, and also deploying troops and moving into the objective. So it's very important because it's already actual engagement of the enemy. Unlike the other exercises, which are more for security purposes, this live fire is more on the tactical, where there's really enemy being encountered.
And what kind of enemy in
Oh.
the Philippines for the context, like terrorists?
It can be terrorists, it can be the MILF, MNLF, and other rogue elements which usually fight the Philippine government.
Yeah, I'd say for us, what you get in a live fire like this, sort of, regardless of the enemy or even the terrain in some ways, well, the terrain matters for the guy on the ground. you're getting the basic building blocks that apply in any kind of combined arms fight, whether you're fighting an insurgent force or you're fighting a more peer or near peer force. You've got to clear airspace. We can't have missiles and rockets and projectiles flying through the air when we're trying to bring in an air assault, trying to bring in aviation. On the ground, you got to understand the surface danger zones. What is the ricochet area, or when I'm shooting my machine guns and I want to support an assault force that's going to come across in front of them. Those basic building blocks, that's what we get out of this kind of training, and those apply in any fight you're going to have anywhere.
Sir, Jeff Canoy from PBS. I want to ask what message do you want to show with this slide?
Did you see it in the
in the context of continued territorial disputes in the Philippines, West Philippine Sea, the latest Chinese, another Chinese incident last March 2 with the Philippines.
Do you want to say the question one more time so everyone can hear?
I want to ask what message that the U.S. and the Philippines want to show with this Balikatan exercise in the context of continued territorial disputes in the West Philippines.
So what message the U.S. and Philippines want to show for the exercise?
Okay, for the exercise, as you know, this is part of our mutual defense treaty. We have a mutual defense treaty with the U.S., which means any attack on the Philippines or any attack on the U.S. forces here in the Indo-Pacific, we are mutually obliged to support each other. And with this exercise, we can practice before actual events happen, so that if real war or conflict happens, then we're able to know how to interoperate and fight with each other.